Well, I was wrong.
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
I had said that I expected Dragon Man to be anywhere between $200 and $300, and then Hasbro comes in and says, boom, $85. I want to talk about that more. I also want to talk about the fact that there's a lot of news going on in the toy world this week because 1, it's Hasbro Previews Week for retailers, 2, it's Pulse Con at the end of the week. So yeah, there's a lot of news to talk about, including Hasbro licensing out some of its iconic brands. Also, I went to Retrocon and I got a pretty freaking sweet deal. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Matt, often called Big Nerdy. Together we are the NWO, the Nerd World Order, and this is Nerdzoic. What did I just do there? I don't even know. Dragon Man. So yeah, like I said, I thought this was going to be between $200 and $300. And looking back, it was probably crazy for me to say $300. I was just going off of how Hasbro has been with these big type figures lately. And I was kind of looking at the Rancor as the basis for where I got that number. But I forgot about the fact that the Rancor had way more joints and stuff. So I was probably way too high. So if I could go back in time, 200 is probably the answer I would say. But no, $85. That is for a 10-inch tall, 17-inch wide action figure from Tip of the Wings. I'm really surprised because this is a single-use mold. That means that they're not going to be able to reuse it to make other things with it. It's only $15 more than we're paying for Crystal and Lockjaw. So yeah, I think it's a great deal. I think people should be excited about it. Dragon Man has 40 points of articulation, including his jaw, his tail, his tongue. He comes with an extra set of wings, and he's actually bigger than the original Dragon Man, which is of course a grail to a lot of people and something that a lot of people have spent a lot of money on. This is a HasLab, but not a HasLab, okay? So basically, Hasbro's doing the idea of a HasLab, but they're not going to have tiers, they're not going to have funding requirements, and probably most importantly, they're not taking the money up front. Pre-orders are open till 10/17, and it's expected to be delivered next August. I think it's great that they're recognizing that HasLab is something that's very divisive and that they are trying other things. Like I said in the previous video, I actually really like the HasLab idea, minus the fact that the tiers are baked into the original price, so it ends up being overpriced if the tiers aren't hit. Now, I gotta admit, I am kind of shocked by the reaction to this. Like, this is just proving that we can't have nice things. Everybody's angry about something. You have people out there saying, it's too expensive. Then you have the flippers like, I just bought 10 and I'm gonna charge you $200 for it next year.
No, don't do that.
Everybody's complaining. Like, come on, if you don't like it, move it along. Like, we can just be happy. Like, in this social media age, we look for reasons to be outraged. If you don't like it, be like, not for me. It is not overpriced. I'm sorry. I'll just say it right there and then. I do not think this is overpriced. And I say that because I'm the one who sees some of the comments people make on things when they're like, Galactus should have been $59.99 for that HasLab, not $400. And yes, there's people who really say this stuff.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong.
I'm trying to be the voice of reason here. I get it. Toys are expensive, but they're a luxury. We don't have to have them. Well, we kind of do, but we don't. Anyway, enough about Dragon Man. This week is Pulse Con on Friday specifically. They've already announced the con exclusive, so I can't get in trouble for saying them. We have a Dinobot die-knocking multi-pack, which, okay, I'm not a Transformers guy, don't know that much. G.I. Joe, we got Starduster. Star Wars, we have the same exact exclusive from SDCC, which is the STAP stat vehicle and the battle droid, except I think this time maybe they're not doing it in the episode 1 packaging. I don't remember. And then Marvel Legends, we're getting Kang the Conqueror and his throne. They have not officially announced anything else yet, but I can tell you that you can expect something from all of the major brands on Friday, and I could probably say that without getting my knees broke by Hasbro. I won't say anything else though, Hasbro. In what I am calling Hasbro adjacent news, Loyal Subjects has inked a deal with Hasbro to produce some of their legacy licenses that they hold as a toy line. So yeah, what are they though? Let's talk about them. First off, we have Poppies. Yeah, I have no clue what this is. I can't even figure it out with Google. I think it might be like a troll doll knockoff? I have no idea. But I used to call my grandfather Poppy, so maybe it's a toy line with him. Probably not though. R.I.P. Poppy. Then there is My Pet Monster, which of course I remember. This was originally a plush doll by American Greetings back in 1986. The license was sold to Saban in 2012. Hasbro then got it in 2018. aside from just being a toy, My Pet Monster was also a cartoon series, and believe it or not, a live-action direct-to-video film, which probably ended up in like the gas station $5 bin. Fun fact, most of the voice cast from this cartoon reunited a few years later in 1989 for the Beetlejuice cartoon, which I remember fondly, because Beetlejuice was not the bad guy in it, which was not the same as the movie. They also got Jem and the Holograms, which was a doll line that I do not remember well at all, but I do remember the cartoon, and I of course remember having a crush on Jem. They also got My Buddy, which is a doll line made to appeal to young boys. It ran from 1985 to 1990. It's said to be the inspiration for Chucky, and it sure as hell looks like it is, but I don't know if that time frame matches up. There isn't really a collector's market for this, so I don't know if they are going to use this license to make children's toys or what their plan is. We'll see, I guess. Then the two big ones, the ROM Space Knight property. So he was actually shown as a Marvel Legends figure at SDCC, but my guess is that Loyal Subjects is going to do like a whole fleshed out line based on the comic run. Now they have a couple options here. There's the 1979 to 86 comic run. There's also more current stuff though. Like there's currently a actual Marvel book that's in production of ROM, and IDW did a run back in 2016, I think. We'll see what happens with this one. I have no memory of watching or playing with these, so I guess they were a little bit before my time in the 80s, but they look cool. Speaking of before my time and looking cool, finally, something is happening with M.A.S.K. It was widely reported that Hasbro renewed the trademark for this earlier this year in February, so everybody knew something was coming, but we didn't know who was going to get the license or if Hasbro was going to remake the line themselves. Now, this was originally a Kenner line. It came out in 1985, and it became a pretty beloved part of the 80s very quickly. It's known for its creative designs and vehicle focus, as well as its playsets, like who can forget Boulder Hill? Still, to this day, considered one of the greatest playsets of all time, and really it combined transforming vehicles with action figures. I'd say that's how I describe it in one sentence. There was also a cartoon that ran for 2 seasons as well. Loyal Subjects is a pretty interesting place for this license to land. Toy lines from them seem to have been more consumer focused, so they did like a Lord of the Rings, they did Turtles, and they're not like super high-end collectors, but if you look at their mission, their goal is to produce as high an end a figure as you can get for under 20 bucks. It used to be 15 bucks, but inflation. This could potentially be huge, but the unpopular scale here might hold it back. Like their 5-inch best action figures, the IDW Loyal Subjects TMNT stuff, it just didn't sell very well for me. Meanwhile, anything else TMNT, whether it's NECA, M.A.S.K, Playmates, whatever, it sells like hotcakes. So yeah, I don't know. And like I said, I assume the line's going to be in that 5-inch scale, similar to all their other stuff, which makes sense for vehicles and playsets. But again, don't know if the collector's market is there, and I know the kids market's not there. But here's a direct quote from the CEO of what we can expect. M.A.S.K has all the crazy features, vehicles, small figures with removable helmets, closed box packaging with that killer logo splash, artwork, and product shots. It's all coming back. They're in the same scale, and we're serving it hot and fresh like 1985, never left. I gotta be honest, the quote doesn't leave me that impressed because he spends more time talking about the packaging and the logo splash art than he does the toys, so I guess we'll see. On a more personal note, I went to Retrocon this week, which is in Oaks in Philadelphia. It's at the big Oaks Convention Center, which it shared a convention center with a reptile convention, which was interesting. Producer Kyle spent all of his time on the reptile side and didn't even come to the toy side because he spent all of his money on the gecko from the insurance people. I don't know, like a gecko, he said. Like, did he buy insurance? I don't know what that means. But I was on the toy side, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to go, because right now, the Nerdy family is operating with one vehicle, and it's a nightmare, because I have been searching for vehicles for a while. Well, actually, I said, hey, maybe we can make one vehicle work, and then I was like, oh no, this sucks. Actually, when I'm done filming this, I gotta go truck shopping, so hopefully this doesn't last much longer. But what did I get? I got myself some Ultimates, because you can never have enough. I almost bought some Carded Cops and Crook stuff, but it was a character from the final wave that I never had as a kid, and I never cared for that much, so I was like, no, Matt, this is a bad idea. I think I'm gonna try to buy some lots loose on eBay. You know, I'm not gonna get all the parts, but hopefully I can get most of the parts, or I'll piece them together as we go. But I do want to try to build that entire line out, because it's only like, I think 40 figures, and they're not super expensive loose. But what I did get, what? Yes, I got a 4 Horseman Eagle, or as he's named, Eagleus, or as I call him, Eagly. So I talked about this in the video where I talked about most valuable Four Horsemen figures, and he was not on the list, but the other birds were. But I got him for $80. Pretty good deal. I'm happy about it. It was the night after the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Green Bay Packers, and sorry if this disappoints everybody, but I'm an Eagles fan, like hardcore, grew up in Philly, sorry. But yeah, he's in the collection now. Might have to give him a spot back here somewhere. And I'll probably make a dedicated short for this, but Four Horsemen sent this out to their retailers. It is signed by the original members of the studio, which you can't really see. It's individually numbered. I'm number 35, or is that 24? No, 35, right down here. Pretty cool. I'll talk more about this in a separate video, but this is why they're my favorite retailer to work with. They really actually appreciate having retailers and realize the help make the line successful was that they were able to get bigger print runs because retailers bought in. So yeah, cool. I do have a question for you, and we're gonna call it the question of the day. Assuming that we get a line similar in size and scale to the TMNT Best Action Loyal Subjects, will you be collecting the M.A.S.K line that they put out? Should I be beating down the door to the Loyal Subjects headquarters right now to get an account opened? I really don't know what to expect, so I'm hoping that the comments tell me. And remember, you gotta get old. You don't have to grow up. Just be cool and stay nerdy. Why do I sound like Christopher Walken but not?